Here we go with part two of Donna Shira. Now, Eternia is a very different place. You talk about, success and glory. And Eternia is very large now. It used to be a little bit smaller in the cartoons, even in the 80s cartoons and 2000s. And here we see Duncan, we see Man at Arms without his gear, we see Adam without his gear. Um, they're getting ready for, I guess this is Tila. Now, uh, she's changed her hair a bit. So you notice, what did you do to your hair? So her hair was like a brownish color, like even from the cartoons in the 2002 cartoons. Her hair was a brownish color. Now it's red. Like it's really red. Um, with the head red hair, expect us to pretend. You can't expect show up with the head of red hair and pretend we don't notice this. Don't give me that look. So she's a little more defiant. She's a little more meaner. I think she's a little too mean spirited. I think the way Keith Giffen wrote her. Here's the king. So the king is happy. That's the Burger King. May her essence become one with the divine, blessed creator, beneficent provider. They're doing like a ceremony here, stand on ceremony. May you know peace, Tila Na. So this is the sorceress of Zor. Her name is Tila Na. Thus we are gathered here today in the memory of. And so we go here, and here she says, like, I never knew her real name. Names have power, so the mages claim. Every last one. It's like, didn't like her when she was alive. Her being dead changes nothing. Wait, did she say? He say Tila? So she never knew about this. I think she was angry at the sorcerers for never really connecting with her. In a way, the sorceress was like a runaway mom. You know, just couple of steps removed from a woman throwing a baby in a dumpster. It's like you gave up this child, never training her, never siring her, like waiting until the time was right. And this is true in all the Filmation cartoons and the Mike Young cartoons, that like she just never really took care of her. In the Mike Young cartoons, of course, Man at Arms and Tila Na, the sorceress, created a child, and he never saw her face, and she never saw his face. You name me after her. I think it's an ancient dialect. So she punches him. Of course, it's just like you know, it's a little. She's a little too mean spirited. I think Keith Giffen wrote her too mean spirited. There's something going on in a nearby village, a few miles away. Uh, so what's happened here? He got blasted and burned. Uh, People are burning to death in a village because Despera has decided to show up. If they are all this fragile, the realm is as good as ours. This is Despera or Adora going on a rampage, and there are the Horde troopers. Um, it's like his sons are dead. She's doing unspeakable acts of murder. This is just it's sad. It really is unbearably sad. She's talking to her troops, trying to figure out where to go. She's not exactly in the middle of the palace, so she's a few clicks away. It'll be too late to mount more than token resistance. She's trying to figure out how to best to take down the king and the kingdom. Um, Now we get a good look at Hordak, and as you can see, Hordak is not giving a shit. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't care. A gift from a loving daughter to a father to a daughter. Do not make me regret my generosity, my life for you. This is the ultimate bad guy, but he's been connected to wires and cables for a long time. One of the reasons he can't just leave Despondos and come back to Eternia. It's been years since Hordak last had a conquest. So he can't go there. The only way he can do it is if he's freed by other means. And he will be freed. But right now, he can only send an Acolyte. He can only send Despera, who formerly known as Adora, to go and do his bidding. You are within striking distance of the seat of power. Eternals, we will begin the attack within the hour. This is a very harsh story. This is, you know, and I liked the Filmation cartoons, but you couldn't really believe that Melendi Britz Adora could really do those horrible things. And you believe her as Shira, but you couldn't believe her doing these unspeakable acts of murder. So this is where it has to really get down in the dirt. And I think Keith Giffen's good for this kind of thing. Not so much for Tila, but as for Adora, this is the kind of stuff that needs to happen to characterize her, so that when she does convert, she has to live with this regret for the rest of her life. Let's just get a shot of Tila undressing for a moment, because that's important. How do we know she's dead? Respect for the dead. Um, so Skeletor had killed her, or whatever. Something had happened in which Skeletor. There is the man who trained Duncan. I forget his name, but this is the man who trained Duncan on the island, and also Captain Randor. And I mentioned him before in the encyclopedia. So there he is. There's Tila. There's Man at Arms and Adam, and there's a little bit more of Tila here, as that's as close as we're gonna get. Um, and let's see. So she's got to change. She doesn't give a damn. She's gonna wear like a hard bikini suit anyway. Decker, that's right. Decker is the one who trained Man at Arms. And here is where things come crashing down. Tila's been injured. Let's see. Your guess is as good as ours. Blessed Creator. Something's coming through. So there's been a crash. But here comes Despera. No quarter, no surrender, or they die. This is a very hard thing. She has to push past her doubts and do what Hordak wants her to do. This is what really makes the whole thing kind of unbearable. But I think we all knew this kind of story had to be told in this modern context. Um, so let's see. So she's determined. She's mad. Don't worry about me. Defend the city. Um, let's see. And if Eternos is under attack, what of the rest of Eternia? Don't think about it. Focus on the now by the power of Grayskull. So he changes into He-Man. This is He-Man's newer uniform, very similar to the 2002 He-Man, but before the Snake Men. This continuity is really a mashup of everything we've seen before. There, the energy signature the Eminence warned us of. This is the reading off the charts where. So now they discover He-Man. This is where they two finally meet. I knew you'd be up here. How did you? You need room to do that whole I have the power thing. A lot of energy comes into play there. So who are we killing? Take your choice. This is where they feel like really get along, knowing that she knows his secret. This is the first time these two meet. Servants should know their place. So she zaps Tila, which is odd because of a story point we're going to get to later between the two of them. She is not a servant. My father was right to be concerned. You should take your lead from him. Does your father have a name? Do you? Talking to Killer. Pretend she's a guy. We think alike. A pity we meet at sword's length. Given other circumstances, we could be friends. No, it's not possible. So she recognizes her. She recognizes Adora. And that's when we realize that, yes, we obviously know there's a connection between the two, but there's a connection between these two that we're going to get into later, or if you want to look it up. But I will get into this a little bit later. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the second one tonight because there's so much. But this is going to be part 3 that I may be doing tomorrow night. If I can find a way to do it tomorrow morning, there's so much lighting, but we'll see how that works. Yeah, we'll see.